I'm in Zoom, Mom.
All right.
Hello.
Hi there, Jenny. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's good. Okay. Okay, we can go ahead and get started. Looks like a lot of people are showing up, which is great. Some people want to know where I am. So I am in the Organic Chemistry and Anatomy lab at Johnson & Wales University, where I work. I used to be in charge of this lab until about a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, when I got a different job on the same campus. But I don't work in this lab anymore. I got a better job, don't tell anybody. But anyway, I can still come in here and use it if I need to. So yeah, it's kind of cool, right? We've got some neat equipment back there. There's a rotary evaporator. That's one of my favorite things. It kind of looks like you're creating a zombie, you know, like Frankenstein, with something like that. Then we've got these fume hoods, which are where the students do their lab experiments. Let's see, over here we got another rotary evaporator closer, and we've got an anatomy model there. Next to it, we've got some skeletons over there for the anatomy class. So anyway, just thought you guys might want to see some college level science equipment. Probably not too different from what you see at school, or at least at high school. Bet you guys have something similar in your chemistry labs. All right, before we get started, I just wanted to say that we have, oh, wait a minute. Okay, that we have the STEM Showdown coming up tomorrow for this month. And so it's on weather, so meteorology. And let's see, I got on my phone here. So I don't have a second screen tonight, so I got to rely on my phone. We have Athena, Noah, Aiden, and Benjamin as our team members who are doing meteorology. So hopefully some of you have signed up. If you haven't signed up yet, I think it's too late. I think you need to sign up 3 days in advance, but maybe they've relaxed that, because I think they're actually getting some pretty low turnout numbers. So if you haven't signed up and you still want to do it, give it a try. It might actually work. Is anybody planning to do that tomorrow? No? Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully that means you're taking the time to study up on meteorology instead of actually doing the STEM Showdown. Okay, I've already got I started a little bit early. I stayed at work actually so that I didn't have to go home and then try to start the meeting in a rush. I just stayed here and started it more easily. And I even had the time to set up our breakout rooms. So I have them set up, I just don't have people assigned to them. So let's see, I think I'm gonna start in the middle this time, and I'm gonna go with Game On. So I'm gonna assign people to Game On. Now, who's in Game On? Got, oh, I can't remember, shoot. Athena, are you doing Game On, or are you doing Anatomy and Physiology? No, wait, Anatomy and Physiology, and yeah, you are doing Game On.
I think you put me for 3.
Sorry?
I think you put me for 3 events.
For 3 events. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, and is Game On one of them?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. All right, so we'll put you in Game On.
All right.
Okay, along with who else is here from Game On? Remy, Benjamin, and Amelia. Benjamin's here. Okay, so it'll be you two, Benjamin and Athena, in that room. And then we've got Heredity. Heredity is Neil, Troy, Sanaa, and Cameron. So we've got Sanaa, we've got Neil. All right, so assign you guys there. Okay. Machines is a few people. Rahul, Sean, Benjamin, and Gianni. Benjamin's already somewhere. Rahul, Sean, either one? Okay, so it looks like nobody. Oh, wait a minute. Benjamin, Gianni. So Gianni, you'd be the only one there, so I'll try to find another one for you. Meteorology, we have, I just read these off, Noah, Aiden, Benjamin, and Athena. Noah and Aiden. Okay, so you guys will be in there. Okay. Ornithology, who do we have for ornithology? Julia, Iris, and Sophia. Julia and Sophia for ornithology, okay? Reach for the stars. Oh, hey, I'm glad I remembered this before I go into Reach for the Stars. Can anybody tell me, well, we're gonna meet again tomorrow, so we might be able to talk about this tomorrow too. But speaking of Reach for the Stars, can anybody tell me what's happening on Monday night? That hasn't happened for several hundred years, for like 600 or 800 years.
Like Jupiter and Saturn are like aligning.
Yeah, excellent, very good. Jupiter and Saturn are in conjunction in our sky. They're going to be closer in our sky than they have been in the past, I don't know, I want to say at least 600 years, maybe 800 years, something like that. If you have a telescope and you, it's reasonably a good one, you can probably set it up and get both planets in your scope at the same time, which is a really spectacular thing. I'm going to set mine up. I have a telescope. You might have seen it actually behind me when I'm at home. It's directly behind me. You can't really tell what it is because it looks just like a black barrel. And sometimes it has a towel sitting on it because I use it as a towel rack when I'm not using it. But anyway, I'm going to have mine out and I'm going to try my best to get a picture. I'm not that great at taking pictures through my scope, but if I succeed at that, I will share with you guys the picture that I get from my scope. All right, so who's here from Reach for the Stars? We have Sid, Iris, Cameron, and Sophia. Sid, I think you may be the only of those left. Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll try for Rhodes Scholar then. Sean, Nechikhet, Aiden, and Niksha. Nechikhet, Aiden. Sean's not here. Okay, that would have only one person as well. It may be that I have to assign some rooms to just one person and then I'll just come in and visit you individually. All right, and then water quality. We've got Andrew, Nechikhet, Kate, and Alexandra. Okay, Nechikhet and Kate, I'm gonna put you in the water quality room, okay? All right, now, so go back up to the top now, or actually I'll keep going that way. Oh, maybe it does make sense to go to the top. Okay, so anatomy and physiology, we have Neil, Athena, Rowan, and Kate. Nobody. Circuit lab is Remy, Troy, Gianni, and Amelia. Troy. No, okay. Crime Busters is Andrew, Nithya, Mie, and Alexandra. Andrew, Mie, and Alexandra. Okay, nothing. Only one of you there. Density lab, Julia, Emma, Gianni, and Gabrielle. Okay, Gianni and Gabrielle, I'm going to put you in density lab. All right, there's another one. So disease detectives, Rahul, Alan, Mie, Sana. Nope. Dynamic planet. Sid, Alan, Irniksha, and Rylan. Sid and Alan. Okay, so you'll go there. And then, what do we have left? Food science. And Andrew, let's see. Andrew, what events are you in?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you're in water quality, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
That's one of yours? Okay, I'll put you in there, okay? Boom, all right. There we go. Breakout rooms are open. Proceed as at will. And I'll come and visit you guys. Sid, are you going into Dynamic Planet breakout room with Alan? Are you there, Sid? Okay.
Try that link. It will bring you to YouTube, and YouTube has some good water quality videos from Science Olympiad.
Okay.
Cool. This is exactly the kind of thing I want you guys to be doing in your breakout room. So that's great. You guys have any questions for me, or are you good to go?
Do you know if this year we're gonna have to make a salinometer?
I don't think so. They would have to send. They'd have to send, you know, samples of known salinity to everybody.
Okay.
Or, I mean, I could envision a way to do it. You know, if they said,
Last year they had you make them like last year they made you make them beforehand.
"Oh, really?
Like, you had to buy the stuff and make them for the competition.
Oh, gosh, I didn't know that. I thought they just provided you with them on site."
I
Okay,
don't think so because you had to like calibrate it and stuff like on your own.
oh yeah, yeah. But then the ones you actually tested, though, that those were provided to you, right, during the competition?
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
My
Okay.
sister, I can ask her. But I remember them having to make them, and I thought they had to use those ones that they made.
Huh.
Like they had to like make it and calibrate it and stuff, which was
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, I can definitely see it. In order to calibrate it, that you'd have to make your own. But then during the actual test, I think it wouldn't be fair if you already knew the salinity going in, right? And you could just kind of say, oh, here it is. So I kind of doubt it, but I could envision a way to do it, which is to say, okay, everybody get, you know, a cup of water and dissolve, you know, 10 milligrams of salt in it, and then, you know, measure the salinity with your salinometer. But I have a feeling that that's not going to happen because, again, you know, it would just be a lot to try to accomplish to have everybody have all that stuff on hand and ready to go.
I have a question.
Yes.
So is it if you enable screen sharing for breakout rooms?
I'm sorry?
Is it if you enable screen sharing for breakout rooms?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Do that. I'm not the greatest person at Zoom, so bear with me a minute.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to leave this room. I think I may have to leave the room to do it, so I'm going to leave the room. And
Are we all, so it says that hosts are disabled from screen sharing. Is there a way that you could change this so that we can like read like an article or something like that?
Yeah, Kate. So I think that's what Nechket was just asking me to do. So I'm going to I'm going to leave this room and I'm going to try to set that up for you guys. Okay. All right, here we go.
So we're allowed to screen share now. So my computer's not letting me open the water quality PowerPoints, but if one of you wants to open it, and then we can start looking at that, then that would be great.
No, it didn't work. I'm trying to screen share, but it's not working still.
Oh, it's working for me.
Oh, okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think that
You're muted.
that's weird. Let's see. Okay. Well, can one of you guys try?
For me, I can't screen share, but I can open the links fine.
Andrew, can you screen share it?
I'm on an iPad right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You're muted.
I muted.
Oh, there we go. Okay. That's better. Okay, so can either of you screen share, Nechket or Andrew?
For me, it doesn't work. It just says it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Really? Okay.
I
Yeah.
can screen share, but like I'm on an iPad, so it won't work well.
It won't work well.
Like
Okay.
it works, but like I can't. That doesn't like I can't really use anything. Like you can only screen share like a picture.
Okay. All right, well, let's try this. I just enabled something else. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Advanced
It works.
sharing options. Who can share? All participants.
Yeah, it's starting to work now.
Okay, cool. All right,
Oh, yeah.
well, looks like you guys are flying high here, so I'm going to go to a different room, okay?
2020 PowerPoint under resources and links.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay.
Incredible.
Hi, sorry for coming in so late.
Oh, that's okay.
I have a question.
Okay, so we need to get, wait a minute. Mie, okay. So Mie, what event would you like to join in the breakout room?
Could I join Crime Busters?
Crime Busters, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a
Oh,
question.
actually, there's nobody in that one.
Okay, then Deceased Detectives.
Shoot, there's no one in that one either.
Wow, those were my only two.
You're only two? Okay. All right. Well, here, I'll put you in, oh, wait a minute.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Gabrielle.
What's the password to the SciOlyHarvard.org thing?
It is Hemingway, and it's all lowercase letters, HEMENWAY. Give that a try. If you're on a Chromebook, you might have to exit out of your own.
Just please try again.
Yeah, you might have to exit out of your own Gmail.
Yeah, but the password's not correct.
Are you sure you're going to the right link? You know, the other thing is I think I shared all that stuff with you guys on the Google Drive, or I sent you emails. Well, maybe not. No, yeah. Okay.
It's HEMEN, correct?
Yeah, WAY.
Oh, I didn't write that.
Oh, okay. All right, Mia, let's see.
Okay.
Okay, you are in those two events, and let me see if there's somebody with you. You see I'm in a different location today?
Yeah, is that at the school somewhere?
Yeah, it's at Johnson Wales University in the Organic Chemistry and Anatomy Lab.
No way. My dad went to Johnson and Wales.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
he did business.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I used to work in this lab, but now I have another job on campus, but I can still come in here and use it sometimes.
Cool.
All right. So let's see. Who is in these events with you? You've got Crime Busters, Andrew and Mie. Okay. All right. I'm going to see if Andrew will join you in Crime Busters. Okay.
Okay.
Right now he's in water quality, I think. All right. So I'll send you there to Crime Busters. And let's see. Assign to Crime Busters. All right, so you should get that invitation to the breakout room. And then I'll try to send Andrew over in a minute.
Yeah, cool.
Hey guys, can I interrupt for a second? Andrew, one of your teammates in Crime Busters just showed up, but she's there alone. It's Mie. Would you be willing to go to that breakout room and work with her?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. There. Okay. All right. So working on this, let's see. Move to disease detectives. No, Crime Busters. Yeah. Okay. Starting to get the hang of this. All right. So now we're back to recording. I don't know why it keeps cutting out recording. That's annoying to say the least. All right, let's see. Who have I not visited yet? Dynamic Planet. One of my favorites. Hi, Ellen and Sid. How's Dynamic Planet going?
It's going well.
Yeah? Good, good. All right. You guys got some good stuff to work on?
Yeah, we were just wondering. So on the rule sheet that you've given us, it says it's got like a bolded thing that says Division C only. Then after that, there's like, it says Division C only, Ekman and geostrophic balances. Then after that, it's got a bunch of stuff, but it does not say Division C only. So does the Division C only mean that all that stuff after the bolded thing is Division C? Or does it mean that just that Ekman and geostrophic balances is Division C?
Good question. Can you share do you have it on your screen?
Yes, I do.
Can you share your screen? I think I tried to enable screen sharing.
Okay,
everybody.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see it. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Division C only. Yeah, no, I think it's just those two things, the Ekman and geostrophic balances.
Okay, thank you.
Which makes sense because those are I know what those are. There's some complicated concepts in oceanography. Ekman transport. I mean, you know, you can make Ekman transport and geostrophic balance fairly tractable by keeping it basic, but you can also make them both really, really difficult. But just to give you an idea, there was an explorer named Fridtjof Nansen who had the idea to take a ship up to the Arctic during the summer, or well, yeah, during the beginning of the freeze, and so at the end of the summer, and let the ship be frozen in the ice, hoping to drift somewhere near enough to the North Pole that they could all get off the ship and actually walk to the North Pole. He didn't quite make it, but one of the things he did notice was that when icebergs, so icebergs were all around them, and when icebergs were drifting in the water, they were drifting at an angle to the wind, and the angle was about 45 degrees. So the wind might be blowing, straight this way, but the iceberg would be going off in that direction. And that's called Ekman transport. It's a mathematician named Ekman worked out why that is. And the reason is because of Coriolis. You guys know the Coriolis effect?
Isn't that the, I just watched a video on it. It's like, he gave an example where he like threw a ball straight, but when like the camera was like following him, when he was like rotating around, the ball looked like it was like curving.
Right, right. So think about a plane that takes off from the equator, let's say, okay, and travels straight north. So it's going up into the northern hemisphere. While it's doing that, the Earth is rotating underneath it, right? The Earth is actually rotating underneath the plane, so that the plane looks like, even though the plane's going in a straight line, like if you were in outer space, you would see the plane going in a straight line due north. But because the planet is rotating underneath it, the plane ends up not due north, but to the right of due north, to the east of due north, right? Because the position on the Earth that's now under the plane is different. It's a different longitude. It's more east than where it started. So that's called the Coriolis effect, and it's something that we see on the surface of the Earth. If you shoot a cannonball in the northern hemisphere, and this is how people first realized the Coriolis effect actually exists, the cannonball will look like it goes off to the right. It doesn't really. It's just that the Earth is turning underneath the ball as the ball is going in a straight line. But anything that's moving on the Earth has that apparent deflection, and that deflection is always to the right in the northern hemisphere, and it's to the left in the southern hemisphere. So that's called the Coriolis effect, and so that actually is what Ekman transport is all about. That the wind imparts a motion to the surface ocean that's at an angle to the wind, and so that's why the icebergs were taking off at a 45-degree angle to the wind, because of the Coriolis.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It kicked me out.
Yeah, the meeting ended.
Oh, okay.
So if we just all join back up, then we can finish as a group. Excuse me 1 second. I'll just take this while people are coming back in. Hello. Oh, okay. That's just a recorded message. I don't need to hear it. Love the ringtone. Thanks. So my ringtone is it's Vivaldi, Antonio Vivaldi, and he's most famous for having written the Four Seasons, right? That's his famous concerto. So every season I change it. I change my ringtone to Vivaldi's part of Vivaldi's piece on whatever season I'm in. So that's fall. But on Monday, I'll change it to winter, which actually is a much cooler ringtone. All right. Well, I don't know if everybody's going to come back in, but a number of you have. So does anybody have any questions about what you went over today, or what, anything come up in your breakout rooms that you want to talk about or ask about?
How exactly are we going to share one piece of paper per team?
Mm. I don't know. That's a very good question. So I don't I wonder if it might be like a Google document, you know, that you would share.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll have to. The event organizers are very busy. They're trying to. This week is the week that is the deadline for people to pay the registration fee. So they've been pretty focused on that, trying to get everybody to pay the registration fee.
Okay.
But I will follow up with them again on some of these changes. You know, what to expect in terms of things like that, like sharing your a document, and some of the other things I wrote down I forget now. But yeah, obviously things are going to be a lot different. I think my suspicion is it would be too hard to sort of limit people, you know, to having just one piece of paper or one binder or something like that. So I would imagine they're just going to kind of open it up, and you can use whatever resources you have. I don't see how they would prevent you, for example, from accessing the internet you know, while you're taking the test. If you're there in person, they could certainly prevent it, but not if you're not. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I suspect that the only way to do it really fairly is to open it up to everybody, or just make it wide open and say, use whatever you can. But that's not an argument against being prepared. You know, the better prepared you are, the less you'll have to look up, and the faster you'll be able to answer the questions. And then, you know, there may only be a couple of questions that you get stuck on that you have to look up some extra information. So, but let me check, and actually I'll write them an email tonight, and hopefully they'll get back to me soon. Now that I think the registration fee thing is figured out, and I'll ask them these procedural questions.
Would they maybe like make us sign an honor pledge or something like that?
Yeah, that's certainly possible. Mm-hmm. Certainly possible. But you know, again, that's not enforceable, right? On the other hand, I do it when I teach a lot of online courses, and so when I make an exam online, not in every class that I teach, but in some of my classes, I have the students sign an integrity pledge before they start. So yeah, I might do that. That kind of thing does, it's somewhat effective. It's just not enforceable. You know? It relies on people's individual sense of responsibility, which for most people is a good thing to rely on, but not everybody. Anyway, okay, well, if nobody has any questions, we can wrap it up, but I have a question for you guys. What is your most hopeful wish for this holiday season? Anybody want to chime in?
I want coronavirus to go away.
There we go. There it is. Me too. Good job.
There's actually a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think you're
My
right.
dad got vaccinated today because he's a doctor in the hospital.
Okay.
And he says that they're probably going to be deployed like throughout the U.S. and throughout the world by March to April. So.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah. So so that's really great news. You know, I know that people are sort of in different groups in terms of priority to get the vaccination, and teachers actually. So your teachers are in a pretty high priority group to get it, so that you know, school can open again in person. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the school year, you know, you'll be back in person in school for most of the week, if not the whole thing. But yeah, it's a massive challenge to get this millions and millions of vaccines to the population. Anybody know the population of the United States offhand?
It's like 300 million people.
Yeah, very good, Sid. Yep. a little bit more than that now. It's somewhere around 330 million. And where does that put us in terms of rank in the world?
Third in the world.
What's that?
Third.
Third,
Behind
that's
China
right.
and
So,
India.
yep, behind China and India. Now, I don't know, one thing I don't know is, has India caught up to China yet in terms of population, because they were projected to?
Yeah, they're predicted to catch up very, very soon, but
Very soon.
not quite yet.
Okay. Like next year, maybe?
I'm not sure. Well, I can look at the projections now.
Oh, that's all right. Just curious. But yeah, so we have the third largest population in the world, which is not too surprising considering that, you know, countries in Europe are the size of some of our states, right? So if you put Europe all together and make that into sort of a United States of Europe, their population would approximately be the same as ours, or maybe not quite. But so, you know, as a country, we're just a big place. So we have a lot of people. Yeah.
I have a question for you. What date is the actual competition?
Okay, so that is January 31st, 2021.
Oh, okay.
Approaching.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that 2021 is like literally 2.5 weeks away.
I know it. Yeah, well, let's hope that 2021 is a better year than 2020 has been. My goodness.
Well, my wish would be for, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, and then you're just like, oh, no more masks, no more quarantining.
I wish. Yeah.
So when is the competition again?
The competition is January 31st, 2021.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So there's a lot of logistics to figure out. So I will contact the Harvard team again, and they're pretty good about getting back to me usually. But like I said, they've been focused on this other issue, getting the teams signed up and registered. We're all set, by the way. I sent an invoice to Principal Anderson last week, I think, or maybe the week before, and yeah, so we're all set. We're registered and ready to go.
And when is the actual competition, the state competition?
The state competition. I don't actually know. Let me see if there's been, so the last time I checked, that was not a date certain, but let me check again. All right. Scheduled for spring 2021 at Rhode Island College. Yeah, I still think they haven't nailed down a date yet. Yeah. So I'm not sure why, but let's see. Last year it was it at the end of March? Scheduled for the end of March? Something like that, right? Because the pandemic hit just in time to cancel everything. So my guess is it would be a similar timeline, you know, end of March, maybe beginning of April. But I don't know. Don't know for sure. All right. Anybody else have anything? Questions, comments?
Did you know that Asia has the biggest population in the world?
In terms of continents?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's got the two countries with the over 1 billion people each. India and China both have over 1 billion people, and no other country comes close to that. Not even us. You know, we're in third, but we're a distant third at 330 million. And we're near 1 billion. So.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so. There are some countries in Africa where population is taking off quite a bit, but I don't think any area no continent is going to overtake Asia's population, I don't know, maybe ever. I guess it depends. When you get to be several decades old, like I am, you learn to say that nothing's impossible. So I imagine someday Asia's population may be, decreasing instead of increasing, and other areas might increase. But right now, Europe's population in general is going down. People are having fewer babies in almost every country in Europe. And so the only way that they get positive population growth is to have immigration, people coming from other countries. That's actually true for the US as well. Our reproduction rate is not quite at the replacement rate. So people already living here are not having children at a fast enough rate to maintain our population at its current numbers. But when you combine people already living here with people who immigrate, then our population is growing, and it's growing, at a reasonable rate, not like it's not taking off at an uncontrollable rate or anything. But yeah, population dynamics are really, really interesting to look at around the world. There's ways to look at the population distribution to see where the most number of people actually are in a certain age group. And so if you look at somewhere like certain countries in Africa that I mentioned, they have a whole lot of really, really young people in the young age groups who are going to get older and have families. And so there are certain countries, and I don't remember which ones, but certain countries that are projected to have very rapid population growth in the coming years. Whereas if you look at the distribution in a place like Japan or most countries in Europe, they have a lot of people in sort of the like 30 to 50, almost a middle age range kind of people, and very few people in the young age ranges. And so you can imagine that's not a sustainable thing. If you don't have enough young people to have families, and maintain the population, and you have instead mostly older people who in a couple decades are going to be even older and taking up resources, trying to stay alive at their advancing age, then your population's not sustainable. So there are some countries that face that situation. Here in the US, we've got a pretty stable situation, at least for the time being.
Speaking of Japan, actually, I'm a quarter Japanese.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's excellent. Have you been there?
Nope, never.
No? Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
My grandma could translate for me. She's 100% Japanese.
Really? How cool.
She actually grew up in Tokyo.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, hopefully when the pandemic's over, you'll get to travel there shortly.
Yeah, I've never been to Japan, but for people who have, always hear like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, there's beautiful things in the cities, but once you get out into like the suburbs, there are a ton of cool sights.
Yeah. So, Cameron, you've been there?
No, I haven't. I've been a ton of times to Europe, but I've never really been to Asia, I don't think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've not been to Japan or China, but I've been to India, which I guess is really the only country in Asia that I've been to. Yeah, Japan, you're right. It does have a lot of natural beauty as well, but the natural beauty comes at a risk, right? Because some of it is the beauty of the volcanoes that exist there, like Mount Fuji, which is an active volcano. The reason that Japan exists is it sits on top of a subduction zone in the ocean crust. And so the ocean crust is subducting underneath, the Pacific plate is subducting underneath the Eurasian plate at that region. And that's an area where you get a lot of earthquakes. So let's see, in 2011, you guys were, you were here. But I don't know if you remember, that was quite a while ago.
It was like a really bad earthquake.
Yeah, a really bad earthquake followed by a really bad tsunami in Japan. So in fact, the earthquake had a higher magnitude than many scientists thought was even possible. And it generated a tsunami that was higher than was thought possible, because only an earthquake of a certain magnitude could generate a tsunami that was 10 meters or higher. And it was thought that the subduction zone would not generate an earthquake that was that large, that magnitude, but in fact it did. So that was another instance where nature kind of laughs at science and says, yeah, you don't really have us figured out. You don't have me figured out just yet. But you know, there were countries that, or there were seawalls that were built there in Japan to hold back a tsunami of about not quite 10 meters. Let's see. So somewhere around 7 or 8 meters high, which was expected to be more than enough to hold back the maximum tsunami that could happen. But the tsunami that did happen was higher than that. And so it overtopped the seawalls and water came rushing in. And then the seawall becomes a problem, because then it holds the water in place. Once the water gets over it, it becomes like a cereal bowl holding the water, you know, in there and not letting it go back out. So that was a terrible thing. But yeah, the places like that, and even in our country, in the Northwest, in Oregon and Washington, we have active volcanoes there. And that's also because of a subduction zone. So someday, and nobody knows exactly when, but someday there will be a major earthquake and tsunami in Oregon and Washington. But as long as that's not happening when you're visiting, it's an absolutely gorgeous place to visit. Yeah. There could actually.
How was India?
Oh, sorry, Sid, go ahead.
How was India?
Oh, it was great. So I was there on for the first part of my trip. I was actually at the Institute of Oceanography there. I was working at the time as a science technician for a chemical oceanographer who did research around the world, and he wanted to test out an instrument in the Arabian Sea. So, you know, I went over there and I took the instrument that he wanted to test, and one of his colleagues from the University of Washington came with me. And so we spent about 2 weeks out at sea on the biggest ship I've ever been on. It was called the Sagar Kanya. And I think it was, oh man, I don't even remember, somewhere around 200 plus feet, which in terms of, you know, like freighters is not all that big, but in terms of research vessels is pretty big. So, but anyway, after that, there was a conference on ocean modeling, a computer modeling of the oceans that I attended. And then I got to travel around the country for, I think it was 10 days, not quite 2 weeks. And I just saw the most amazing things over there. I mean, again, there's so much natural beauty there, but there's also a lot of, you know, human constructions like the Taj Mahal, and there was a lost city called Fatehpur Sikri. I don't know, have any of you ever heard of that place?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's pretty close actually to Agra, and it's a place where there was a city that was built, and at the time it was built, there was plenty of water in the area, but not very long after it was built, maybe, you know, somewhere between 10 and 20 years after it was built, there was a major drought, and water in the area completely dried up, and the people who lived there had to leave. But so they left the city in almost an unused state, and so that was a really unexpected pleasure, you know, to go and visit that place. I knew about the Taj Mahal. I knew I would see that and be amazed by it, which I was, but I didn't know about Fatehpur Sikri. And then I went up to the northern part of the country in the foothills of the Himalayas. Bye, Mie. And that town was called Shimla, and that was just the view from that town up into the mountains was absolutely breathtaking. And there, I think there might be more monkeys in that town than there are people. There are monkeys everywhere. They run they're almost like squirrels here. You know, they run on the power lines and they steal people's food. There, I'll just tell you this one story and then I should go. But I saw these two girls walk over to a vending, you know, a man with a vending cart and get an ice cream. And so they start walking away from the cart with the ice cream and they're eating it. And all of a sudden this monkey comes from a nearby tree and runs up and grabs the one girl's dress, the girl that had the ice cream. And she got scared and she dropped the ice cream on the floor and the monkey picked it up and ran off with it, right?
I do
Got
that.
the ice cream. So I thought, well, okay, so you'll do that to a young girl. Will you do that to a grown man, right? So I went and I got an ice cream for myself. And I walked over towards the monkey. I knew where he went. I watched him, you know, where he went. And I walked over to him and I was going, this ice cream is really good, you know, trying to kind of taunt him. And next thing I know, he's running down the stairs at me. And I thought, okay, I have two choices. I can either try and fight off a monkey for the sake of an ice cream cone and risk getting a monkey bite in, you know, a foreign country where nobody knows me, or I can throw the monkey my ice cream. So I threw him the ice cream. But anyway, yeah, I had a great visit. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, one time when I went to India, we were visiting the Taj Mahal, and so so actually this happened to my friend. So my friend, his dad, he had a banana in the back of his backpack and it was sticking out. And what happened was, so they were coming out of the airport and then a monkey came from behind him and grabbed the banana. Thing is, they didn't realize that. So like 20-30 minutes later, when my friend's sister asked for the banana, he went to grab it and it wasn't there. He was like, what?
Yeah, they are fast. I mean, you know, imagine a squirrel that's about 10 times the size of a squirrel. And you know, that's what they are, these monkeys that, the only place I encountered them was in that town of Shimla. I didn't see them in other places. But Sid, you said they're around the Taj Mahal as well?
Oh, that was Neil.
Oh, Neil, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of relatively far away, but we were on a trip to the Taj Mahal.
Oh, gotcha.
And but we got ice cream. And we threw out the cones. The monkeys went in the trash can and took out the cones and ate the remainder of the ice cream, like the small bits that were at the end of the cone.
Oh, that's funny. But they didn't come and steal your ice cream cone like they did.
No, I didn't steal it. I guess we got lucky, or your monkeys were really aggressive.
Yeah, I guess so. He had definitely learned how to get ice cream. That's for sure. Anyway, it's been great talking to you guys. Hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow. I will have another session tomorrow. And we'll try to get people into different breakout rooms than you were today. But if I don't see you tomorrow, then I think we'll probably do Wednesday next week, but we definitely, well, I don't know. Wednesday's Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, and then Thursday's Christmas.
No, it's not.
No?
Wednesday's the 23rd, I think.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so we'll definitely do Wednesday next week. We probably will not do Thursday because Thursday's Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Okay. And tomorrow, if there's no power, then we're probably not going to do a session, right?
Yeah, correct. So we'll keep our fingers crossed about that. Okay?
Bye. Thank you
guys
so
have
much.
a good night. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're
Have
welcome.
a good day.
Thank you. You too.